So Alex just texted me, our own Alex Sachs.
He's in L.A. today.
Yeah, why? Is he on vacation or is he working?
No, he's working.
What's sent he doing?
Him out. We're recording Carlos Santana for something coming up.
Oh, so he just sent me a text. He goes, I'm literally the only person at the Rainbow right now. Staff and managers are really cool. They gave me a tour. It's pretty sweet. Hopefully I can get out here for one of your invasions at some point.
Wait, did he drop your name?
I don't know. But he just sent me. But what is it? Who the hell is going to be at the Rainbow? It's 11:30 a.m. right now Pacific time.
You beat the lunch crowd.
Yeah, but it's not really a big lunch hang there anyway. Although, actually, I've enjoyed a few lunches there over the decades. But yeah, he just sent me a photo of literally nobody in the place. All right, Alex. Well, you go. Alex, go back. What do we got? A Thursday night? Thursday night's a good night at the Rainbow. Go back there around 10:30 tonight and see what's going on. It'll be a whole different story, Alex.
His life will be changed forever.
Oh, great stuff. Okay, so, Ed, what do we got in news?
Well, Alice in Chains are still releasing episodes in their Black Antenna series, which basically can be deconstructed as this. A music video for every song off their latest album, Rainier Fog, released in succession. They form a dark sci-fi story that ties all together. The 8th installment has just been released via the band's YouTube channel and is set to the 8th song off the record, titled So Far Under. That leaves 2 more music videos to go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool what they're doing. And Alice in Chains with the big tour. Who are they going out with again? Alice in Chains and...
I know it's not Bush, because Bush is touring with Live and Our Lady Peace. Who are they touring
It's
with?
a double bill deal. I know... It just escapes me at the moment. You're Googling.
Oh, wait.
Ed?
Korn? No, Korn?
I think it is Korn. Actually, I think it is Korn.
Maybe Korn. Dylan, research that, please.
Yeah, it's Alice in Chains and Korn, I think. Yeah, I think it is.
All right.
Yeah, so anyway, tour. But that's pretty cool what they're doing. They're doing like a video for every song from Rainier Fog, their latest record, and then sort of it's going to, I guess, make one sort of seamless movie is what the idea is. So very, very cool produced videos, too, with like stories to them and stuff. I've watched most of them.
Yes, it is. We have confirmation. Korn, Alice in Chains, double bill, Shed Tour this summer. Yes.
Wonder who's closing. Or if it's a flip-flop. I wonder who closes that.
I'd put money on the flip-flop thing. That seems to be effective
right?
for a lot of bands these days.
I think that feels like a flip-flop to me. That when you can a lot of these bills, I'll look. I'm pretty good at saying what the billing order should be. And then there's those ones where you're just looking, I think that's a flip-flop, and I think that feels like a flip-flop, like every other night the other band closes.
And you know
Remember last summer we had that tour that was Bush, Stone Temple Pilots, and the Cult, and that was a triple flip-flop.
Yes.
Those guys, all three alternated the order. And here's the thing, on a tour like that, most of the time you don't want to be the last band.
Exactly.
The sweet spot is the middle band. But obviously the cachet of being the closer is always going to be a thing. But yeah, that Korn Bush feels like a flip-flop.
You play the middle slot, you're on the bus before anybody is out of the venue.
I mean, Korn, Alice in Chains, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What else?
Let's see here. Influential alt-rock band The Melvins have been forced to cancel tour dates in Europe as drummer Dale Crover is suffering from a back injury. Oof. The canceled dates were in support of the band's latest album, Pincus Abortion Technician.
What band is this again?
The Melvins.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Buzz and the Crew. Okay, well, What else you got?
Have to thank Twitter follower at DJ the Chad for cluing me into this one. We love our rock documentaries. We do a lot. The filmmakers behind Mystify, a new documentary about late INXS frontman Michael Hutchence. They've released a new trailer for the film, which is set to arrive in theaters on July 4th, Independence Day. Now, the film features many of his friends, including former lover Kylie Minogue. Quick aside, I once got a hug from her. It was fantastic. True story. They all talk about his life and achievements. Michael, that is. Producers call it a journey into the heart and soul of Michael Hutchence in a statement describing him as a complex and shy man who spent the bulk of his life in the public eye, rarely revealing his true self to anyone except his very close friends. The film was written and directed by Richard Lowenstein, who directed most of the music videos that INXS put out. A soundtrack album featuring some previously unreleased Hutchence songs will also be released. I think Lori Majewski has already seen the film, feedback that is. I know the film premiered this spring at the Tribeca Film Festival here in New York City.
I would love to see that. I mean, I would love to if somebody has a link up there in the building or whatever. I would love to see that. I'll watch it when it comes out on whatever proper formats it comes out. I don't think a documentary. You can say it's opening in theaters. I don't think certainly in America. I doubt that's playing in movie theaters. I just don't see a documentary on Michael Hutchence playing in your local 16-screen AMC. Now, it might for one day, it might for one weekend, it might be in a couple art houses, but I don't see that being a wide theatrically released film. A lot of these films do that, though, because in order for them to be considered for awards, they have to have played theatrically somewhere in theaters. So they'll do a 1 week run in art houses or something like that. And then after that, it's to Netflix, streaming, what have you. The other thing that I'm seeing happen a lot with these documentaries is that they'll get a run on one of the cable outlets, Showtime, HBO, something like that. And then it'll come down or go away very quickly, and then there'll be a little chill out period, and then all of a sudden they will be rolling them out on Blu-ray, DVD, Netflix. They'll make another deal, or they'll try to sell it as a download or something like that. And I see that happen a lot, and the reason why I know that is because when these films play on, whether it be Showtime or HBO, the artists, I've talked to a lot of the people who have been involved in those documentaries, and they don't really want to talk about them being on those channels. They want to save the push and the publicity for them when things revert back to them and they are able to make money, basically selling it or pushing a subscription thing or an iTunes thing or whatever. So I think what happens is, and this my understanding is, that if you make a documentary, and God knows there's a zillion of them, right? Okay, now you put all this time, money, effort into making this thing, and now you're saying to yourself, now how do I let people see it? Well, the easy thing is throw it up on YouTube or whatever, but that doesn't make any money. And you need to at least try to make your money back because it does cost money to make these things. But if you can't get any traction for it, then what you end up doing is making a deal for one of the cable networks to play it for a month or whatever it is, and I'm sure they don't pay very much for it, but it's almost looked at as like an advertisement that to let people know it exists. Then you pull it back from them, and then you run with it and try to sell it off of the word of mouth you got from it airing on Showtime or HBO, which of course not everybody gets. I've seen that a lot. I saw that with the Quiet Riot documentary a few years ago, where it ran on Showtime. Everybody talked about it. And then 2 months later, Frankie came on my show and wanted to position it like, no, now this is the way you're really supposed to get it, because that they finally had a chance to make some money trying to sell it, which I understand. I'm seeing that a lot with the recent run of documentaries that just aired on Showtime, one on Hardcore. We may have some of these people on the show actually in the near future. So the great thing is all these documentaries exist. The interesting thing is, how do you roll them out? How do people see them? And for the people who put the money up to make the film, how does it get monetized so you have a fighting chance at least recouping what you spent to make it? And depending upon what the subject of the doc is and how well done it is going to depend upon how many outlets you have to air it. If it's a really great story, but it's a very obscure band, you got a pretty good shot. If it's just an okay story and it's an obscure band, you're probably going to be going direct to the fans with that. Or if it's, obviously a big name artist, you'll have a chance at getting a little theatrical run.
Well, you know what, Eddie? I did a little bit of online digging here. This July 4th premiere date in theaters, I'm seeing it appears to be only for his native Australia.
That's exactly what I thought you were going to say. That would make sense. Australia, different story. In excess or from there, it's probably a much bigger deal. I'm sure that, and July 4th isn't a holiday in Australia, because that was the other thing, too, that would seem weird. So, Anything else, Ed?
Yes. Now, this is interesting. Have you ever heard, speaking of streaming services like Netflix that house many rock documentaries, ever heard of the show Black Mirror?
No.
So it's a Twilight Zone-esque tech-centric anthology series that it's a UK show, but it airs here on Netflix in the United States. It's called Black Mirror. There's a new episode of the show that centers around a pop star played by Miley Cyrus. Now, people with attuned ears may notice that some of the songs she sings in the episode sound a lot like Nine Inch Nails. It's because they are, albeit popified versions, this is real, popified versions of Nine Inch Nails songs with slightly altered lyrics. According to series creator Charlie Brooker, this was done with the approval of one Trent Reznor. He allowed them to kind of rework his songs for an episode of this show. He, quote, got it straight away. There's even a Nine Inch Nails Black Mirror themed t-shirt available through their online store.
All right. Is the show any good?
Yeah, it's spooky. If you like the Twilight Zone, it's basically a tech version of the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Yes.
There's so much stuff on Netflix that it's hard to keep up with all the things that come out. You know, I didn't even realize this, that Letterman's show, his interview show that they did a season of on Netflix, he did a second season, and 4 or 5 of the episodes are up on Netflix. And he, before I got on the plane last night, Netflix shows properties that they own. In other words, things they produce, whether it be shows, movies, series, you can download those on your devices. So it's great if you're going on a plane and you can't get enough of a streaming signal to stream. You can, before you get on the plane, anything that Netflix produced and paid for and owns, if you go on Netflix, you can put it on your device and download it so you can watch it without an internet signal. So last night I downloaded 2 or 3 of the Letterman of the new season of, I think the show's called My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. And one of the ones is with Kanye West, which, it's not my music, but he's so out there sometimes that I can't imagine him and Letterman and that conversation that might be. So I have to watch that. I downloaded it on my phone. Didn't have it. I ended up reading the whole way on the plane to Oklahoma last night, but I'm going to probably watch that on the flight back on Sunday. But I'm such a Letterman fan, I'll watch any of them, but I really wanted him to be a little bit more of the funny, wacky Letterman than the serious interview Letterman in the first season. I don't know what he's doing in this second season, if it's more of the same, but I definitely look forward to watching it. And speaking of reading,